Hello everyone and welcome to a new Pandora FMS workshop. In this workshop we are going to explain what is the alert correlation system, how to configure it and how to create this kind of alerts. The alert correlation tool is used to create alerts that act on events that have been generated in our environment and on logs that we have collected through the log collector. The correlated alerts are somewhat different from the normal alerts, since in this case they are created by means of a set of rules with logical relations that we will see later on. As they are not alerts based on a specific module, we have more flexibility since we can analyze events coming from different modules that may or may not belong to the same agents. Before starting to work with these kind of alerts, we have to make sure that the alert correlation server is activated in Pandora. To do this, we have to open the configuration file of our Pandora server and look for the event server parameter. And as always, if we want to activate it, we have to set it to 1. In addition, we have to take into account that since in Pandora and especially in big environments, a great amount of events can be generated. So there are two parameters that limit the number of events that the server can process to avoid performance problem, which are the ones we just see below. In this case, the event window refers to the time that the correlation server takes into account the events that are generated in Pandora, which in this case, and by default, is 1 hour. And the same happens with log window, but applies for the logs. Everything outside the time range will not be processed by the correlation server. Once we have enabled the server and configured both parameters, we will have to save the file configuration and restart the server as usual. Now to start working and creating this kind of alerts, we have to go to the alert menu and choose alert correlation. Here will show up the alerts that we have created if we have someone, and we can also create the new ones which is what we are going to do. First of all, we give it a name. For example, I'm going to call it testing B2. The group we want the alert belong to, a description if we want to add some other comments, and the priority of the alert, which can be all of these. And for example, I'm going to set it to critical. Now this window is like a template window from a normal alert. Also, we can load a template if we want, and template that we have created before. Or we can change the parameters manually. For example, the days of the week that we want the alert to trigger. If we want to use a special day list, we can activate this token. The range of time for the alert to work. For example, in this case, it's going to work the entire day from 12 to 12. And this parameter is used to set the number of times the conditions have to happen to trigger the alert for the first time. For example, if we set it to 2, the conditions and the rules have to match 2 times before the alert is triggered. And with this parameter, we set the number of times the alert is going to be fired. For example, 10 in this threshold, in this range of days, for example, or of hours. So the alert will have to happen 2 times and can be fired 10 times in the range of 1 day. After the day passes, the counter will reset to 0 and it will begin again. Now we have 2 other parameters that are exclusive for this type of alerts. The rule evaluation mode is for example, if we set it to pass and this alert triggers, the other alerts below this are going to be evaluated as well. And if we set it to drop, the other alerts are not going to be evaluated anymore. The last parameter allows us to group by, for example, agent, group, module, module alert, or none. For example, if we set it to module, the alert is going to trigger once a module makes anything that happens 2 times, that occurs 2 times, and can be fired 10 times, etc. This window is to configure the rule definition. For example, we can load a previous one if we want, or we can set it manually with these items that are provided. As you can see, as you will see, this is really easy to use because the items that we can choose in this occasion are going to show up. For example, to begin the rule, the parenthesis one is showing up, so we choose it, and now we can choose the field, for example, the event severity and the operators. If we want to check an event that is, for example, warning or critical, we have to set it like this, and we can continue adding modifiers or another nexus. We have to keep in mind that if we set another rule like this, for example, event agent, these two rules have to occur simultaneously to trigger the alert. And if we set it separated like this, these two rules have to occur in the range of time that we configure it, in this case, in the event window and log window parameters in the server configuration file. Also, we have a menu down below the table where we can remove the last rule that we add. For example, this last one. Remove the last item that we choose. In this case, it is going to remove the last parenthesis, as you can see. Cleanup will set the table empty to start again with the rules, and reset is going to set the table like it was before we did anything. For example, if we have this rule and we finish like this, if we did the alert again and we add another rule, for example, and we hit reset, it's going to let just the first rule because it's it was before. Okay, we're going to continue. This window is like advanced fields for a normal alert, so we are not going to say anything about it. And the last window shows us a summary of the triggering condition of the alert, like for example the days of the week, the range of time, etc. And we can choose the actions that will be done with the alert. For example, if we want to send an email to the admin, with this parameter we can choose the range of firing times that the alert is going to send an email to the admin. For example, from 5 to 7 times, from the number 5 of the firing time is going to send the email in the 6th and in the 7th time, because we have set it to a number of 10 fires, and in the threshold of, for example, 1 day. We can of course continue adding other actions, for example, monitoring the event, and in the number of 8 to 10 in the threshold that we want. And the last field, we can see a preview of what is the action going to do when it fires. For example, the monitor event. And once we are finished adding new actions, we hit the finish button, and the alert will show as the last one. We can also change the order, but you have to keep in mind that if we set, because we set this mode of evaluation in drop, if these alert triggers, these two others are not going to be evaluated, so you have to keep that in mind. Of course, we have some filters to make your search easier, filtering by group or by the name of the alert, and some other options to work with the alerts. For example, disable the alert or set it in standby, adding new actions from here, a quicker form of adding actions, editing the entire alert, or deleting it, removing it. And of course, when the alert triggers, if we want to validate the triggering, we can hit this checkbox and click on validate. And this is all for today. I hope you found this very helpful. If you like it, drop a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss anything. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Goodbye.